I was in alcoholism na bado nilikuwa gambling. The last time when I was in gambling, nililose over 1.2, enye najua ni 1.2 million. The one that can be traceable, at least hii niligamble. And still the other money. Mpaka wife usiku nikilala, wife ananiuliza, nini unashika kwa simu? Yeye anadhania mimi nafanya nini? Na niko na mpango wa kando usiku. Lakini mimi niko betting. Niko pale tu games na scroll, naangalia ni game gani zinashinda. Nakumbuka my first born child alizaliwa, nilikuwa namwekelea hapa. And I'm walking, bado mko niko kwa simu, looking for the games. And at the end of that, I wouldn't sleep. In the morning, the first thing naamka ni kuangalia games. That is on gambling. And now in addiction, maybe now in alcohol, ilifanyanga nika lose everything. Alcohol. I was not able to fed for my wife. I was not able to provide for my child. Child that I have named after my own dad. I won't care for him. My name is Harrison Mwaura. I'm from Nakuru. I'm a recovering alcoholic, and to be specific, I'm a gamma type 2 and also a recovering gambling addict. Because of addiction, I lost my job. Because of addiction, I lost my family. Because of addiction, I lost everything. Alcoholism and gambling took me so low to the point that I had given up in life. I used to wake up in the morning, and the first thing that I used to do, I'll stretch my hand. And the first thing I'm taking is a cigarette. It was this loco cigarette. I wake up in the morning and I can't even take breakfast. Because I wake up, crawl to the bedroom, or I'm crawl to the toilet, and then vomit the greenish substance, bile. And a lot, tunakaitanga ka thin sweat, kajasho kanyebamba, na na vomit. Every day that was the thing. But today when I can wake up sober, I don't have much. I don't have all those vehicles, I don't have all those properties. But being a free person, that has really encouraged me. And another thing that makes me to continue being on sobriety is my family. My mom never used to sleep at night. Anashanga, where is my son? Where is my son? At night, saa 9 nampigia simu usiku. Mom, niko kwa baa nimeshikwa. Namdanganya ni polisi, nimeshikwa or something that nimeshindwa kulipa bills. And hakuwa nalala to the point that health yake ilikuwa imeisha kabisa. But today, I have restored that relationship with my mother. That is what binds me close. I think na value sobriety because of my mother. That we can talk daily, 3 times. The minimum we can talk is 3 times. And even my bro complains, manze we mnaongeanga na madhe sana. But they don't realize that I was able to reunite with my mother. Kitambo ningebdanganya, manze mama nataka pesa fulani. But all of these used to go to waste. Namdanganya, mama niko mgonjwa. Ananiambia enda chemist, nitalipa nini hapo chenye unataka. But today niko na freedom with my mother. That now we can talk with my brother freely. That now I can watch news, a sober person. That manze neza amka niende church, manze nitembe. Neza ingia class, I can do my things freely. Manze kuwa sober, hiyo siwezi trade. Siwezi trade na kitu ingine. Na uchafu nayo, that now sasa niko msafi. Manze tunaweza ongea mpaka nawe. Kitambo ungeniona. Nilikuwa nimeisha manze. Nilikuwa nimeisha. Nanuka. Fasting naamka asubuhi nafanya hivi. Manze leo sinuki, leo siogi. Nakimbia kutoa lock. So for me being in sobriety, siwezi trade. Hiyo siwezi trade. Afadhali nikose kila kitu. Manze afadhali hata kila mtu aniondokee kwa life. Lakini nibaki sober. Nakumbuka manze niluzanga mpaka viatu. And there was one time, and the bad thing about me, I was in alcoholism, na bado nilikuwa gambling. The last time when I was in gambling, nililose over 1.2, enye najua ni 1.2 million. The one that can be traceable, at least hii niligamble. And still the other money. Mpaka wife usiku nikilala, wife ananiuliza, nini unashika kwa simu? Yeye anadhania mimi nafanya nini? Na niko na mpango wa kando usiku. Lakini mimi niko betting. Niko pale tu games na scroll, naangalia ni game gani zinashinda. Nakumbuka my first born child alizaliwa, nilikuwa namwekelea hapa. And I'm walking, bado mko niko kwa simu, looking for the games. And at the end of that, I wouldn't sleep. In the morning, the first thing naamka ni kuangalia games. That is on gambling. And now in addiction, maybe now in alcohol, ilifanyanga nika lose everything. Alcohol. I was not able to feed for my wife. I was not able to provide for my child. Child that I have named after my own dad. I won't care for him. Alcohol took everything from me. Now I don't have that family. We separated because of addiction. Siku hizi hata hatuongei. It is only that sometimes me contribute paying the school fees and so on. So I lost a lot of things because of addiction. And not that I would have done better. I was addicted. When I realized what was happening to me, nikajiunga, kumbe Harrison, haukuwa unakosea mtu. It is that haukuwa na control. There is no way, ningeamka asubuhi I'm vomiting and nataka hiyo the cheap liquors. For me ndio nikunywe hiyo alcohol. Ndio niweze kukula. So there is no way I will cater for my wife. There is no day I will cater for my child. The only thing that ningeketa ni my drinking. There is no day madhe angeniambia, "Hey Harrison yaje, siku hizi unanipea stress sana. Kila siku nasikia unakunywa. Nasikia uliuza mpaka laptop. Nasikia mpaka jacket uliuza. Sasa unataka niishi aje? Unataka nikufe unizike? The way we buried your dad. Unataka pia mimi nifuate babako pale." But by then mimi singeona because I was in so much pain. I was deep into addiction. There's a curve nitango generic curve. Nilikuanga inside pale curve chini. And watu walidhani msichana ako tu starehe zake. Msichana anapenda tu drink yake ni kujifanya anajifanya. I experienced my first drinking way back when I was in class 7. Class 7 I was around 14 years, 13 years. That is when I and my friend we decided let's go and buy the cheap liquors. They were selling at 10 shillings, 20 shillings. Akina Sapphire, but luckily the government banned them. I was in class 7. And I remember we had 60 shillings and each one was 10 bob. So we bought 4. And I took 2 and my friend took 2. But he did not finish. Kaniambia, "Wewe nimalizie hii." So me I finished the 3 of them. And I was so high. I remember nikienda home I was naambia kila mtu gota. Smiling all the way. Little denying kumbe this is the problem that nilijiingiza. That was my first time. And I quit up to Form 1. Going to Form 1 now, I went to a school that had everything. There were doctors there and we had the freedom. And I remember I used to take even Changa in Form 1. And I remember the first exam that I did in Form 1 first term, I was top 20. But finishing end of that term Form 1, I was number 72. Because of alcohol in school. Midterm, I used to drink. Midterm, closing day. Those were my drinking days and weekends. By then, I was a social drinker. All through high school, I was a social drinker. But luckily, my dad alikuanga ananipush. Ananinyima pocket money. Akiona nimeimprove, ananidunga pocket money ingine. So pesa sikukosanga ya pocket money and so on and so on and so on. So nikamaliza high school. Luckily, I was not expelled in high school. And I got a good grade. Kwenda campus, that is where now, as far as I know now, that is when I shifted to kutoka social stage, nikaingia stage 3, where I could control my drink. I remember we were admitted on Tuesday, and on your weekend, manzi I'm already suspended from university. Who gets suspended in university? First weekend. Weekend ya kwanza manzi, na si private school, ni public school. Public university. Manzi unafukuzwa siku ya kwanza juu ya pombe. Tuliendanga Taska Project Fame. Taska Project Fame was the ending that time. So ilikuwa another hotel ntango Green Hills pale. So tukienda huko tukapanda mat, tumelewa usiku mzima. Asubuhi tukirudi hostel, tukakataa kulipa. Tukachapa wale wase wakonda. Wakareport kwa matron. Matron naye akasema, wase wacha, si ni wale mafresh wamekuja. Acha tu waseme kwa admin. Mimi nikasuspendiwa. So my dad anauliza, on Tuesday uko na government help na nimekupa do. Na unaniambia hauna do na umefukuzwa shule. Kwani umefanya nini? Of course because alikuwa anataka nimalize education, akanipusha. But you see, the mistake that I did there, sikujuanga that now I'm in deep trouble alcoholism. Second year, nimefukuzwa shule. I remember one day nilikunywanga asubuhi na niko na kata saa 5. Who drinks akienda exam? And wanafunzi wengine wananicheka, huyu jamaa kwani hajipendi, anakujaje kata akiwa mlevi. But they didn't know that mse hajielewi. Ningesaidiwa, ningepata baby mtu akunisaidia, maybe ningesikia, but I didn't know. So mimi naingia cut, lecturer ananiangalia, are you able to do this exam? Naambia I'm not able to do this cut. Akaniambia, sir, clearly you cannot do this cut. Toka tu nje. I got a supplementary. Haya, getting the supplementary, I'm given another opportunity to do the cut. To do not the main exam again. Haya, mimi huyo asubuhi tena nimekunywa tena. I even did not report to go and do that exam. And not that I had not read it. I was a bright student. At least if I could sit down for 2 hours, I could read and get everything and pass the exam. But I didn't have that time to go and read. So sikufanya hiyo exam. What happened? I deferred university for 1 year. That 1 year is when I discovered, this alcohol. Why is it that you're not like any other person? People go to pub, to bars, they drink 2 beers. Where if you have 10,000, nivo, you'll stay in the club till everything ishe. That was in second year. I was taken to my first rehab. That was in 2011. And in fact, the first time, wamenipeleka to a psychiatric. A psychiatric there in Nakuru. I'm from Nakuru. Wamenipeleka to a psychiatric. Tukaongea naye, akaniambia, can you have a problem with alcohol? Let me give you medications that will make you not to drink alcohol. So I take the medication the first day and I take alcohol. Na vomit. Instead of quitting the alcohol, I quit the medicine. Hizi dawa zinafanya nisikunywe. Na tupa sasa hizi dawa sasa ni zani daktari. Unafanya natabika usiku mzima hapa. So me quit the medication and they were so expensive and my dad was very hungry. I'm struggling here going to work every day and farming. Na wewe nakunulia dawa unaachana na dawa sasa unaendelea na pombe. So it contact on this guy needs to be taken to a rehabilitation. The last time I remember, I took changa 6 o'clock in the morning. By 11 I was so drunk. My dad said, huyu sasa amenishinda. Akanipeleka police station. I was 22 years or 21 or 20 years there, 21 years. Akanipeleka police station, nikalala police station. Next morning, OCS anasema, huyu mtoto huwezi wasaidia. So I was from police station, 22 years old, second year, mpaka rehab. Another rehab here in Matasia. Nikakaa there for 2 months and I decided to change. But you see the problem, what I was going through was not addressed. Haiku addressiwa in that rehab. We just stayed there and I decided, let me now control my alcohol. So after the 1 year, luckily, went back to school, nikamaliza shule university. Cleared university, I graduated, nikapata BCom, accounting option. God is good. Mungu naye hachangi watu wake. God has always been with me. Nikapata job na banking industry. That is also when I went to school, I still continued drinking, but now manageable. Najaribu tu kidogo kidogo. I'm still doing the assignments, make sure I do the cards and exam. So I finished. Nikapata job with a bank, I started bank in Mombasa. 1 year, I was already suspended. Mtu anafuzangu, how do you get in 1 year unafukuzo bank? Unaambiwa sasa wewe endelea kuserve. Nikajitetea vizuri. Wakanipea unpaid leave for 3 months. Kanipea, we Harrison, umejileta kwa head office ukasema uko na shida ya pombe, tumekupea unpaid leave, you're not going to pay you anything. So we go back, go to after rehab utasaidika, after the 3 months, just come and continue with work. So I went to the rehab the second time. Kenda rehab the second time, nikamaliza 2 months, I was sober, came back to work. Luckily, I was transferred. And this time I said, I'm not going to take alcohol again. Hii yenye imenipeleka rehab mara mbili. So this time around, I will be a serious person. So 2016, karudi Mombasa. I was transferred to another branch in Likoni, hapo Mombasa. And I stayed sober for 1 year. I stayed sober from alcohol for 5 years. I didn't take any alcohol. For 5 years, up to 2021, I did not take any alcohol from 2016. But what got me after that? Somebody introduced me to football betting. The one for Font, we can place Manchester Uni. You select a lot of teams. And the first time I placed 500, won 21,000. And I was so happy. And I remember by then I had already married. I was telling my wife, tulikuwa tunaishi kwa bed sitter. Wewe toka hapa haraka haraka. Shika pesa katafute nyumba huko. And she went got her own bedroom. Kumbe that was the in thing now that was I introduced to now betting. And by the time I was finished with betting, I had lost over 1.2 million. The one I know, 1.2 million. That was, at least somebody paid that money and I was not criminated. when you are betting, we are thinking that we are trying to solve a financial problem. But betting and gambling, it is not a financial problem, but it is an emotional disease that has financial consequences. I remember, you see, I'm now from alcoholism, now I'm in betting. Betting has now replaced alcoholism. And this is why I normally say I stayed sober for 5 years. Not because I wanted, but because I was in gambling. Gambling replaced alcoholism. The way alcoholism, when I am sad, when my wife has done something, when I'm stressed at work, I used to take alcohol. But this time I'm in gambling, you see, when I am sad, gambling replaces that. And you could find me the whole day so happy. You know why? Because I have placed a jackpot and I know by the end of the weekend, I'll be having 280 million plus on the 17 games that I have played on the jackpot. And you ask me, what are you doing? Me, I'm so happy. Hey, on Monday, I'll be a millionaire. You see, I have euphoria just like a person who is on alcoholism. A person who is drunk does not his problem because he has euphoria. He's drunk and high. A person who is gambling and has played some games, he has a lot of anxiety that gives him the happiness. You see, if the wife is telling him, hey, we manze, kwani utashinda hakuna pesa huku na nyumbani, mtoto hana chakula na nini, huyo mtu anachukua 100, ana bet. Anajua in the evening, I'll get maybe the 50,000, hizi shida zitaisha. All throughout, he had some hopes, but let them call false, they are all false hopes. Hakuna ukweli, because this money you will never win. The probability for you winning is very rare. So in gambling, what normally happens, you can always one time utashinda tu, mara moja, small money, and that keeps you going. And many people have been, like huko ushago, I hear people calling radio stations, oh, sijui send 100, sijui send what, mtu fulani ameshinda. They're all false hopes. And to the surprise of many, hawa watu pia wanadanganya. They are fooling people. They are even recording messages. Kwanza, and what, they are even including Christianity. Oh, Mungu amenikumbuka leo, nini na nini, nimeshinda 1,000,000. Na mtu anafurahia. Na ni uongo. Wewe umeacha 200 hapo ya sukari, unaenda unaweka pale. Unaenda unabetia Man U na Arsenal. Na Arsenal inagongo. What will happen at the end? What you are trying to solve, the emotional problems that zimekuwa zikikusumbua, they have not been sorted. The problems that were there, they have not been sorted. And more so, you have lost a lot of money because of gambling. Like me, why not for somebody that saved me, that paid those over 1.2 million? Today, I'll be in jail. So you end up a lot of problems. And the only few people that I know that won jackpots, won those a lot of money, I have followed their life, hence then. Some of them in the US that won billions. I was following the story of somebody that today, he's still in the construction. Anabeba mjengo, alipatanga close to 1 billion shillings. Saizi hana. So even if you win that money, so if you win 21,000 or you win a million, why still mbona kesho unarudi kubet tena? So you see, it is not a money problem. It is something that you're trying to solve. So on gambling, I'll tell people, if you can abstain from it before it gets out of control, just quit this thing. Gambling nilifanyanga karibu nifungo over 14 years. I used to gamble over 20,000. Mazina nachukua 20,000 naekelea Man U na Barcelona. Na inagongo na pesa inaenda. Kuna siku moja, and then mpaka people nakumbuka siku moja nilibaingi games Ukraine or something hapo. Ilikuwa Ukraine ama Russia. Ati ni fixed game. And then they are telling me that hapo utapata correct score. Correct score gani? That is how 1.2 ilishanga. And it's even more than that. 1.2 ndio najua. Because leo na bet 20,000 na ficha pale bank. 20,000 ingine nachukua hivyo. So I used to think that this money I will win and refund. You see, so I remember one time imefika 600,000. Na naona hiyo ndio balance, niko na deni ya 600,000 because of now gambling. Sasa najiambia, hey Harrison, siwache gambling. Hapana. Si mimi nitashinda tena. Au ni money hii game, hii kwanza weekend kuna games kali sana. This weekend there are a lot of games that will earn me money. So I continue betting. The next time 1.2. And I had nowhere to go. I had nowhere to run to. I was almost jailed because of that. And you see now, some things happened during that time, during that period of when I'm being fired. I'm being fired in the banking industry. Then my dad dies. My father passes on. may his soul rest in peace. It was around October. You see, I've lost the job. My dad has died. Now at home, I don't have money to support my family. My wife and my children. One child that I was having by then. I don't have the money to support them. And then I had an executive barber shop. And I had a cereal shop. All of them, because of gambling, I had taken all the money now to sustain my gambling since I'm not working. Na sasa kinyozi imeisha, kila kitu imeisha. And I'm still stressed because my dad has died. And by then I did not mourn my dad because I was still gambling and so on and so on and so on. So I have nothing to support me, my emotional imbalance. And I didn't know about counseling. So what happened? Went back to alcohol. And I decided, Harrison, since you have stayed for 5 years without alcohol, at least you can manage the expensive liquor. Nikasema, see, I can be taking 2 guaranas. And I take 2 guarana the first day. And I felt so high. Lakini my brain imezoea, we bana, wewe unawezaje kunywa guarana wewe? Guarana si yako. Au kuna kunyonga guarana. Hii unatupea ni maji. This is water that you are giving us. Give us something harder. Kutoka guarana, nikaanza sasa makali. And from the guarana, in around 6 months, I was already nimeuza everything. I was zero in 6 months. Mpaka nguo nimeuza mpaka nguo za bro, nimeuza laptop zote, simu sinanga, nimeuza everything. Because of now gambling to alcoholism. And it went on so bad that I remember I was in Mombasa. My mama akasikia, huyu jamaa anakunywa tu Mombasa. What do we assist him? Juu sasa huko atakufia huko. So they say, wacha tumtumie fare. Wanasema, mkimtumia fare, you see, I'm in Mombasa, mkitumia fare hawezi kuja. So the best thing, can you send somebody, go to Mombasa, take him, akuje Nairobi. Akuje now, go back to Nakuru at home. At least I try stabilizing. Because now the addiction is so much. Now I'm not gambling, now it's alcohol. So I'm in Nakuru, drinking. Kwanza I remember, nikifika home, tulipitianga Narok. From Mombasa, Narok, all the way to Nakuru. My cousin was the one who came to take me, my very good cousin. Ananiambia, can you stand here as I do some transaction? We continue with the journey. So akirudi, Narok, sijai kanyanga Narok, nishapata baa na kunywa huko. Ananiuliza, manze wewe, umekuja Narok siku ya kwanza, na ushapata baa? Hata hizi baa mimi sijui, unazijui. Mimi nimeishi huko na sizijui. And you have already gone to this place. Kufika home I cannot eat. My mama ananiangalia, manze anaanza kulia. My son, umefika. Ona vile umekonda. Ulikuwa so healthy. Saizi jiangalia. What has happened? Kwani ulirogwa ama ni nini? Kama mama sikurogwa. I've don't know. Kamwambia someday I will change. Someday I will change. Lakini the disease was still there. Over the December holiday, mama akasema huyu nyumbani anatoibisha sana. Because I'm still mourning my husband and you are still continue to drink alcohol hapa. So it's better you go stay in Nairobi with your brother there because huku nyumbani unaniibisha sana. Unanipea stress. I'm not sleeping, I'm not doing anything because of you. I'm just wondering where you are. Ukipata shilingi 5 unauza, ukipata shilingi simu yako unauza for you to continue drinking. So go stay in Nairobi with your brother and as you look for work, tuone kama utasaidika. But you see, they are sending a person who is sick to Nairobi to go and look for work. Luckily, my sister gave me a job due to be supplying medicine. There is not even a single medicine that I supplied. And it was, hakuna kitu nilisupplyingi, hiyo ni uongo. Siku supplyingi, nilikuwa naamka 6 direct. Naenda to a certain pub, tunafagia hapo, tunatoa lock, tunalipwa na pombe. Ama kama niko na nguo jacket na wapea. I remember niliuza a Masai leso. I sold a Masai leso for 90 shillings. Walinipea half a liter na 1 cigarette that was worth 10 bob. 90 shillings. So that was my job. Drinking daily and selling things. I was a daily drinking officer. And I had so much to fathom because when I was going home, I would see kids there. Nikiona mtoto anafanana na mtoto wangu. So I'm like, huyu ni mtoto wangu. Na nilishindwa kumlea because of alcohol. Manze I'm drunk, ningekaa kwa counter manze nalia. Najua I'm not supposed to be here. Manze nalia. Nafikiria tu ule mtoi wangu manze mwenye napenda. Lakini sasa sina otherwise. Manze nalia tu kwa bana shindwa. Huku nitaijitoa. But you see, sikuwa na otherwise manze. Kwanza story ya mtoi manze. It was so tough. Manze unajua this your child that ube bring up. But because of alcoholism and gambling, hakuna vile naweza take mtu huyu. Hakuna vile. And it was so tough. And from there, bro akaniambia, come tuishi na wewe Nairobi. Kuja tuishi na wewe Nairobi. We try, kama unaweza chai pombe. But bro, manze bro alini accommodate. Hakuniacha. Bro niliuza mpaka viatu zake zote. Bro ananifungia kwa balcony. Anafunga mlango anasema, huu stoke huku tenda kukunywa. But mimi nani? Mimi naruka balcony. Second floor, manze naruka kutoka ilikuwa first floor, naruka kutoka first floor mpaka chini kwenda kutafuta pombe. So akirudi anapata mimi nishalewa. And don't forget, this period is 6 months. The alcohol that nilikuwa nimeacha for 5 years. Now it's 6 months that I'm doing these things. Anasema huyu jamaa akienda kunywa atakufa ama something will happen. Wacha nimfungie kwa nyumba. Because anani mind, anasema lakini chakula iko hapo, eat it. Lakini mimi sina haja na chakula. Mimi naruka kwa dirisha, napitia kitchen balcony, naruka, naenda nalewa. Narudi siku. Ananiuliza, "Bro, umetoka wapi?" The last time I remember ilikuwa over the Easter holiday. Staying with my bro. Bro alikuwa ameendanga holiday Kisumu. Mombasa, alikuwa ameendanga holiday Mombasa. Na nimenunuliwa ka laptop that I tried doing online jobs. Nifanye online jobs. So mazimi nikaona mimi sina do. My bro hakuniachia do. Not that hakuniachia do. Aliniambia ukitaka chakula, enda pale kwa duka, uchache unataka, it will be paid. Now I used to go to the shop, naambia mtu wa duka, we bro alisema unipe mkate na maziwa. Haya, nachukua mkate na maziwa, naenda kwa bar. Mkate ya 60 bob, nauza 10 bob. Na hii maziwa naichukua tena, nauza kwa bar. Ananiambia, we, enda pale kwa butchery, kuna 480 nimetuma hapo, chukua nyama kilo 1. Nani? Mimi naye naambia mswa butchery, oya, you have been sent for 480, give me 200, zingine baki nazo. So that I can take money for alcohol. So it went on and on and on and on and on and on. And where ilifikanga mwisho, and that was what changed my life. Niliuzanga laptop. The laptop that nimebayo nifanyange nayo online jobs. I sold it for 5,000. A laptop, but it was around 36,000 hiyo laptop. Niliuzanga 5,000. So bro anarudi ananiuliza, where is the laptop that I bought you? Namwambia laptop ilimwagikiwa na maji, iko kwa fundi mwingine pale anatengeneza. Anajua hii ni uongo, hii laptop imeuzwa, hii tu ni uongo tu. Now from there akasema unamuitia polisi huyu. Wewe umenisumbua wewe. Every day umeuza viatu zangu, umeuza masaileso, you have stolen my money, you have sold everything. You sold your things, you sold your barber shop, you sold your cereal shop, you have even sold your clothes and everything. You don't have, look at you now. The only place that tutakusaidia ni uende police station. And I had him calling the police. The good thing police hawakupatikana. So they talked with my mother, wakasema, let's look for him a counseling center, a rehabilitation center ndio asaidike. So how I came to quit alcohol, they called another counselor, anaitangwa Mwas. Mwas is my very good friend. So he came at home where I was staying with my brother. He talked to me, asked me some few questions. He asked me, Harrison, what is it that you drink so much? And I can relate with you everything. You went to boarding school in class 3. Went to one of the worst high schools by then because it had a lot of strikes and drugs. Then you went to Nyeri, the home of alcohol. So I understand all this that you are going through. Do you need help? I told him, if at all itanisaidia kuacha hii pombe, it is okay. So akaambia bro, huyu mpelekeni rehab. So bro anasema, wewe tunakupeleka rehab tena. But for me, I wanted to escape the agony that I had caused my bro. Niko nataka niondoke bro because of the vitu nimemfanyia kwa nyumba kila siku ni rangos mpaka anataka kunipeleka police station. So I wanted at least I go to rehab ndio nipotelee hizi vitu zote. So Mwas the counselor akaambia bro, huyu mtafutieni rehab na vile unamfungia kwa nyumba hati asitoke hapa, hii haumsaidii. This person will even die here. Unaona hata hakuli. You can see the withdrawals that he's having. You can see he's vomiting. You can see vomiting green substances, sweating a lot because of the withdrawals. So, hata usifanye nini? Usimfungie tena kwa nyumba. Wacha atoke wacha atoke ama buy him alcohol what he wants. So they got a rehab, and I remember that morning I was unable to wake up, and my bro akasema hawezi amka uende rehab. Namwambia mimi hata sina nguvu, so do this, buy for me alcohol, at least nitaweza kupata nguvu ndio nioge na niende. Bro said it's okay, and from there akapigia mswa in spirit, we si ulete pombe moja, another expensive alcohol for 1,000. But I told my bro, the alcohol that you want to buy for me I don't want that one. That one won't assist me. Alcohol for 1,000, where does it take me? Can you buy the one for me, my drink for 160? It used to be called Blue Eyes. Mi ni buy Blue Eyes ndio pombe, mi ndio changa yetu. Mi ukinibuy magilbi sio inisaidie. Mi need cheap liquor. Akasema wewe ni bro yangu, I can never buy for you cheap alcohol. Kamwambia, if you can never buy for me the cheap alcohol that you want, that I want, just buy me an expensive one, the one for iko itango kibao, the kibao vodka, the 200. Buy for me the kibao 200 vodka, ndio I take, then I go to rehab. So go to the boda guy, bring the 200 the kibao vodka, take that, go to rehab. I remember when the alcohol came in the morning, ikaletwa na boda, nilifungua tu hivi chap half dry yote nikaikunywa. By the time hata hajalipa boda, mimi nishakunywa nusu. By the time nafika kitchen, I've already nimshamaliza yote. Ndio my bro akaniambia, ushamaliza hiyo pombe peke yako saizi dry yenyewe, you need to be in rehab, you need to be in rehab. From there nikakunywa, nikaweza kuoga, nikaosha tu vyombo kidogo, and they took me to rehab, a certain rehab that I was there. So they took me there, and that was the last alcohol that I have taken. It's now almost 2 years. That was the last alcohol that my brother bought me to take me to rehab, and I have never, and I pray to God that I'll never take another alcohol. So I went to rehab. It was on Friday, and the good thing, it was on Friday, April 9th. That is when they took me. And April 10th, the next day, was my mother's birthday. And I realized, kumbe my mom, you love me this much. You have taken me to rehab, and it's not 2 shillings. It was over 200,000, the rehab that I was taken in for 3 months. You have taken me to rehab on your birthday. I need to do something. I need to do something. Well, in rehab, still there, I still had a cigarette. I smoked the cigarette and I finished. And then I was on TV. There was like a TV that was there that we used to watch. So I'm watching the story of somebody, another friend of mine. We have never met with her. Maybe someday we'll meet with her, Caroline Kagia. And Caroline is narrating her story. How she sold everything. How she sold even the mattress, the bed, even the curtains and everything. And I'm like, hey, this is a girl who ni demanze. Ameuza kila kitu kama mimi. Mimi hapa niko na short. Na boxer imeraruka, boxer ni skirt. Na spare part niko nayo hii boxer nikionga ni short. Ni short ya games. Hiyo ndio kumbe Harrison unaweza change. Kama udema amechange. Udema aliuza mpaka kitanda. Wewe hata ulikuwa unalala kwa floor. Wewe hata ulikuwa unalala kwa pool. You can even make it. So because of that story changed my life. And someday I'll meet Karo siku moja ndakuja tu kukulipa. Because that was the story that changed me. And I decided, if this person changed, I also am going to change. And from that day, I have never turned back. It is almost 2 years now. And though I still don't have a family, and my family is coming soon, I have gained a lot of things. At least now, my mom sleeps well. I don't have to lie to her every day. I don't have to lie to my brothers. At least now I have my own house that I have taken. I have a 1-bedroom that I'm staying. Although it's not full. You see, recovery, it has given me, being in sobriety, it has given me everything that I had lost. At least now, I can buy nice shoes, buy my own clothes, feed myself. I can even go to Pizza Inn and buy a chicken. Imagine me najibaiya chicken in. Naingia chicken in najibaiya plata. Najibaiya kuku. Manze kitu sikuwa ifanya. Ningekuwa na 2,000, I used to eat 100 shillings. The rest of it, back to alcohol. End month, at least I can send my mom something. I can assist in some of the activities that I want to do. And being in recovery, it has restored a lot to me. Mazee imerudisha kila kitu. I was almost diagnosed with anxiety disorder because of alcohol. And so what I normally tell people, because now I'm an addiction counselor, I tell them, I have walked through this journey. And it is not a journey that I will repeat again. If given another chance, how will you do that? Recently, I was watching news and I saw a certain chief and he was displaying the illicit alcohol. And from the illicit alcohol, he was telling the other people, and he was holding women undergarments, those dirty things. And he was telling them, look at what you people are drinking. These all undergarments, all this dirt, tumetoa kwa hii pombe mnakunywa hapa. And I was like, do you understand that this alcoholic, hata hajui nini unamwambia? He's not concerned with the undergarments that he's drinking. The only thing that ako concerned nayo ni to manage the withdrawals, to manage his cravings. How will he go to work after taking that? So the dirty things that that we are taking, that is not our concern. So I think sometimes the government, the relevant authorities, they have not come to the underground to understand how an alcoholic behaves. For them, they think it is a decision that somebody had decided to engage in alcoholism. But you see, in addiction, what normally happens during the first few stages, the stage 1, experimental, and stage 2, that is where you drink out of willingly. You are drinking willingly. But the moment you cross stage 2, so stage 2, you go now to stage 3, the instrumental stage, there you don't have any control. You don't have any control of what you do. You don't have control on what you're drinking. You don't have control on what you're feeding your family. You don't have control on what you are doing. And even the places, that's why you can even drink and drive. So I think the government, it has not really understand what is alcoholism. And I see them, and I always see them there, trying maybe to draft laws. Who are you drafting laws? At your closing pubs. Or when you close the pub, I'll still get the drink where it is coming from. You know, even if you take me to a town that has no alcohol, I'll still get the alcohol. So sometimes the way you are managing alcohol, it is not the right thing. If you can do psychoeducation, educate this person, rehabilitate this person, treat this person. Instead of going to public health and doing all this, why don't you treat the people that are there? Why don't you talk to them? You see, people will have thought that I was also insane. I was not insane. When I saw another person struggling where I'm going, that is when I got help. So if the government can at least try to get people who understand this disease, what it is, instead of drafting laws and so on and so on and so on, closing pubs, pouring alcohol. You're pouring alcohol and I still get in the next place. And there's still a lot of corruption there. And you are doing it publicly, maybe just to get fame and so on and so on. When you're looking at the addiction as a family disease, there are so many roles that people play. There is the addict himself, and then there is the enabler. This is the person that is assisting the addict to continue drinking, whether knowing, unknowingly, or what. Whether I keep quiet, you're still encouraging me to continue drinking. And then there is the hero. There is the hero who takes up the role of the addict. There is the scapegoat who just is blaming everything because of the addict. There is also the black sheep and the mascot who makes fun out of the addict. So addiction, it involves the whole family. And unless we treat the whole family, then we have not cured addiction. We have not dealt with addiction. And like my case, my mother was not sleeping because of me. My brother and my sisters, all of them, they had said that maybe you now, you can now stay away. You now, Sasa, we are not going to deal with you again. But you see, them also, they are not sleeping because my mom is not okay. And my mom is not okay because of me. So all of us, the family, all of us were in this together. And unless you treat the addict, then you are not going to deal with addiction in the family. The way I was loved, the way I was shown love, the way they understood me, and in the end, they decided, let's help this person. And you see, it was not the first time going to rehab. And it was not even the second time. It was the third time. So I know you have tried caring for this person. I know you have even spent your time, spent your finances, and even everything. Some have even sold land. to try and cure this alcoholic. Just don't give up. Give him the chance and try to take him to a treatment center that understands addiction. Because some of them are just money-making businesses. So if you could love that person again, if you could at least show some love, just understand that they're not doing this to annoy you. They're not doing this thing to try and maybe harm you, to try and make you even poorer. They are doing it because they are sick. Just the way you will send land, you will even sell all your properties to try and treat a person who has cancer. Addiction is a disease like cancer, but it is manageable. If my story has touched you and you seem that you have all these issues, you have a loved one that needs assistance. You have a brother, you have a mother, you have even a dad or even a grandpa, or even now the small children, they're even smoking shash, and you see that their life is not going well. You can also reach me. Now, I do not deal in banking industries. I am a trained addiction counselor. I am a psychologist. That is what I do now to help people. And in case you need my assistance, my number is 0724 149 965. 0724 149 965. This is my story, and I hope it will inspire others. I hope even if it is one life that will change, then I have achieved this. And even people till to date, some people even don't like me because of coming publicly. But I said, if the way I had the story of one person, if I also can share my story and it will just change one person life, then I have achieved everything. And I wish you all the best, and I hope we are going to help many people, and the government will also support us in fighting addiction.